Hi everybody, another gorgeous day in the Coachella Valley, the desert of Southern California. Welcome to the golfshoptv.com. I'm the coach, Rich Gilgallen, joined by our esteemed panel, Jeff Harrison. How are you, Jeff?
I'm great this morning, Coach. Thanks for having me again. And man, it is gorgeous out here this morning.
And the one and only Amy Anderson. Amy, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Now it is a little hot today. It's going to be 104 maybe.
Well, 104 is nothing for us out here in the desert of Southern California.
Well, especially when the humidity is low. I mean, it was like yesterday was you know, there was points where it felt like it was hot, but it was like 6% humidity. I mean, that's nothing.
If you're a real big golfer and you want the best rates in the country in the summertime, right here in the Coachella Valley, all these great golf courses, high-end daily fee courses, which might run you $100, $110, $120, $200 in the wintertime. You might get out for $25, $30 right here.
Now, Coach, I also saw a picture of you on Facebook with Marilyn Monroe. Is that something people should come see?
Well, when you come to Palm Springs for the next year, you're going to get some opportunity. We have a 26-foot bronze, beautifully painted statue of Marilyn Monroe right in downtown Palm Springs, and it's going to be a very big draw, I think, to the area.
I thought it was outstanding. That picture of you there, it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, you know, it really is interesting. It's a construction zone. We're redoing all of downtown Palm Springs, and in order to sort of take your eye away from the rubble, they brought this amazing statue of Marilyn Monroe out, and I was out there the other day at the unveiling, and you know, when people walk up, they walk up to it and they go, and this is the first reaction, they go, wow. And when you can get that kind of reaction, you know, from, well, let's face it, it's art.
Yeah.
And that's what art is. Art is when you walk up to something that someone else has created and you just go, wow, that's something. So I mean, we're excited about it.
I just have to be the person who did that. I mean, that's quite a work.
Guy's 80 years old.
Really?
80 years old. It's 26 feet tall. And the only kind of strange thing about it is you wonder if for example, Mount San Jacinto was a volcano, and 200 years from now they come digging around and they find this great statue of Marilyn Monroe. You wonder what those archaeologists would think about 500 years from now.
That's
too funny. Maybe we should do a show from there.
Oh, that would be...
From the shadow of Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be kind of cool.
Well, we've got a great show today. What are we going to talk about, gang?
Well, we're going to finish up with the players, talk a little bit about what's going on in the golf world.
The fifth major.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, this morning I love this time of year because you know, now the European Tour has a hot event, the Volvo Masters.
Right.
So I look forward to hear what you guys have to say about that. I was watching a little bit of that this morning, so that's kind of fun.
Well, this is a great week in golf because you have the two match play events. The LPGA is out in Gladstone, New Jersey, one of my favorite spots on the planet. It's where people don't have an accent over there. And they'll be playing match play. It's a 64 person field, and the Europeans play their Volvo match play championship this week in Spain. So it's a great week. You know, you're a match play guy, Jeff. You're as tough as a $2 steak in match play, baby.
I love match play. I only have to beat one guy. So, well, let's get started.
Let's get started.
All right.
Welcome back to golfshoptv.com. I'm your host, Rich Gilgallen, along with the one and only Amy Anderson. Amy, this is last week was so exciting. Of course, playing on one of the great golf courses in the country, the very challenging TPC at Sawgrass.
I just want to follow up by saying Ricky Fowler, he gave Kuchar a run for his money.
He sure did. And you know, Matt Kuchar is such a popular champion, and really, he gives you one thing. I mean, he gives you a smile. And there's so much about him that you like just from that smile. It's a good lesson for a lot of players.
It is. He's very personable. I enjoy watching him. I mean, he is a treat.
And he had the opportunity on Sunday to play with Kevin Na, who drove pretty much everybody else crazy this week. Amy, as a golf teacher and a golf professional, when you see a guy who just can't get comfortable over the golf ball, it's got to drive you guys crazy.
Well, he's a mental issue, I think. He has, you know, mental problems. He should probably work with a mental coach. But I want to talk about this pace of play thing.
Right.
Kuchar made an interesting comment that he thinks there should be a shot clock in golf. Not so sure about that one. What are your thoughts?
I am adamantly opposed to a shot clock in golf. You know, there's two great outdoor good weather games, baseball and golf. No shot clock in golf and no clock in baseball. It's up to, those games are there so that we adapt our clock to the game. We shouldn't be asking these two great games to adapt their clock to our go personalities that we have in this country today. These are two games that are meant to be played at leisure. Now, I know that some guys are slow on the golf course, but there's nothing worse for me than being with somebody who's always looking, oh, we gotta hurry up. We gotta hurry up. They're getting towards the green on the hole behind us. It makes me crazy. They're okay. You're okay. Play the game. Focus on what's ahead of you, and don't worry about the. Don't panic about the pace of play.
Yeah, I know I'm the world's fastest golfer. I'm pretty sure I am.
Yes.
But I think there needs to be a happy medium. You know, can't dawdle too much. There's sometimes people take way too much time over shots, but rushing around isn't it either.
I agree. I think we have to be aware of where we are, but I am opposed, and I don't like playing with people that are over concerned about the pace of play. And you see it when you and it's usually people that work at a golf course, like you know, a starter or a cart barn guy or something that might be out there with you. But what happens is you come in and you go, how was your day? And when the first thing somebody says is, well, we played in exactly 4 hours. Yeah, but what'd you shoot? Oh, shot 95. Oh, okay. I mean, so it doesn't matter to me. I prefer to relax. That's why I play golf. I play golf to relax and enjoy the day, and I don't want to be rushed.
Okay, so no shot clock on the PGA Tour.
Nah, it's ridiculous. Now, they handled this in the old days a lot better. You know, if you played against Ray Floyd, for example, and he noticed that you were too slow, I mean, he might smack you in the back of the head and say, hey, pick up the pace. Again, you know, it's up to the playing competitors to maybe help in that situation. So I mean, I don't want to see a clock ever in golf. It doesn't bother me if it takes 20 minutes more to play. I just wish we wouldn't be so hyper-focused on that now.
Interesting. Now, I read another thing this week about Tiger Woods and his stats. And I think an interesting thing that I did a little research, and I was looking at Tiger's stats and where he stands world ranking, missed cuts, driving distance, greens and regulation, putting. And then I looked at Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is way worse.
Well, Tiger's stats are better than they have been. And that's what, of course, his teacher and his entourage want to point to. This is another strange thing about this game. It's a game where Tiger, for example, is more concerned about swing than score. And I think this is what's getting him in trouble, and getting a lot of these players in trouble. Everybody's so interested in having the perfect golf swing that they're forgetting that the guy who wins is not the guy with the best golf swing. The guy that wins is the guy who gets in there with the lowest amount of strokes. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
He's third in scoring.
That's what I mean. He's playing good, but he's not putting the way he used to. It's as simple as that. And when Tiger was the greatest putter in the world, he had a Scotty Cameron putter with a pin grip, and he was working for Nike. And I know it was driving the Nike brass crazy because they want to sell Nike putters. And so Tiger, when he was winning 73 tournaments and 14 majors, he could tell Nike which putter he was going to use. But all of a sudden now, no wins, you know, falling down in the world rankings, Nike could tell Tiger what putter he was going to use. And he's only won one tournament with that Nike putter. And so, you know, I just think the problem with Tiger is not so much ball striking as it is making those clutch putts that he always used to make.
Yeah, well, he's not playing this week. Phil is. Should be an interesting week at the TPC Four Seasons. You know, Byron's 100th birthday. Can't say enough good things about that gentleman.
Well, Byron. Byron it was one of the greatest golfers that ever lived. And while he was alive, that tournament commanded a field. And it commanded the field because Byron would sit on the porch on the back of the 18th green, and as players finished, they would, as they should, sort of tip their hat to Byron and go up and say hello to him and his wife. Since Byron passed away, the field has suffered in this tournament, and it's kind of a shame.
Now the match play tournament in Europe, or it's in Malaga, Spain, has a good field.
Well, it's a great field. This is one of their big events. You know,
24 golfers.
24 golfers, and they, when they get down closer, they start playing 36-hole matches for a while. So only really one American present, Brent Snedeker, who took a trip over there. And by the way, they lost his clubs.
Oh, geez.
So Snedeker has to start today. He had only 3 clubs that he brought with him. His clubs were on the way. So he had a set, a putter. He started out the tournament with a putter, I think a driver, and a wedge or something. And then they brought his clubs. Now he cannot replace the clubs that he has. He could replace the clubs that he didn't have. And so he had a rough start out there this morning. I'm anxious to see how he does.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
But I say to the airlines, for crying out loud, make us, I mean, the guy's on tour. He's a tour player. Don't lose a tour player's clubs. That's crazy.
Now, Coach, ladies have been off for quite a while. I'm excited because this week they're playing in New Jersey, as you said, and it's a match play event. And the kind of cool thing is there's 18 of the top 25 players out there. Well,
it's a spectacular field, and it's match play. And you know how much we love to watch match play. As Jeff said earlier, you only have to beat one person. It's I think that we need more of it, actually, on the PGA Tour. We have one event, obviously, in the desert of Arizona, and the ladies are in Gladstone, New Jersey over there, where they don't have an accent, like I said.
Yep.
And I look forward to it.
I do too. Yanni will be there. Michelle Wee. Now she's, what, 4 missed cuts. Can she come back this week? Who knows? Paula's there. Morgan Pressel. It should be fun. Yeah,
and there's some great opening round matches. And, you know, there's something about match play. It really is the one event where it's not about your score. It's just about each hole, of course, and trying to beat the other player in that one little hole. Every hole is a golf tournament.
It is, and I enjoy watching it more than stroke play. I think it's tough on the TV producers, but I think it's so much fun.
Well, the television, of course, is always afraid that the 53rd and the 45th seed will play in the championship game and nobody will watch. But I just don't think that. I think in a match play tournament, the story develops. Okay, it develops from the first day, and by the time you get to the championship round, you've seen each of these players beat several other great players, and so let the story develop itself, and that kind of story will always find an audience.
Yeah. Now, 2 other great stories this week, and I know you're going to get into them in your editorial, but Mike Wan made an interesting comment about the ladies going to Augusta, the LPGA, and then good old Tim Finchem. So yeah, I know you'll get into that.
In my editorial, we'll address the commissioner's bold and courageous stand as regards to power. So we'll be certainly talking about that.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Can't wait myself, Amy.
Perfect. Well, let's get to that.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach's Soapbox right here on thegolfshoptv.com. This week I'm going to address what I thought was an amazing lack of courage by Commissioner Tim Finchem. I know that it's hard to speak truth to power. And I know that the membership of Augusta National is power. You know, it's not like the membership consists of 300 guys from Augusta, Georgia, who just happen to form a golf course. No. The membership of Augusta National are the most powerful men in this country. Tim Finchem was asked a question in his press conference. Do you feel uncomfortable about the fact that Augusta National still does not have one single solitary female member? Does that make you uncomfortable because you have a policy on tour to not have a golf tournament anywhere where discrimination takes place in that club? So they asked Tim Finchem. And I was sitting there watching the press conference, and I thought, what an opportunity for the commissioner of the PGA to step up and speak a little truth to power. So what did Tim Finchem do? Nothing. Well, you know, geez, golly, we made a decision that it's going to be an official event, realizing that it's against their club policies are against our rules, but it's just too important for us to, you know, invoke our rules on the membership of Augusta. Nice job, Tim. Way to show a little backbone. Way to show a little fortitude. Let me ask the members of Augusta something. What are you guys afraid of? Are you afraid of some women in the club? What do you think? They're going to bring in lace curtains and outlaw cigar smoking in the clubhouse? That's 51% of the population. What does that say to all these members of the LPGA? What does that say to your daughters? Honey, I love you. Really, Dad. I'd like to be a member of your club. Ooh, geez, sorry, honey. No women allowed. This thing is a dinosaur. It's archaic. It's absurd. It really came to fore this year because the president of IBM is a woman. Every single president of IBM has been a member at Augusta, except for now. This is the same stuff that Augusta did, by the way, back in the 50s and the 60s, to their everlasting shame, by changing the rules and making sure that the African-American golfers that were on tour would never get in there to play. It took enormous amount of energy for these guys to break down that wall at Augusta. And this wall is another one that needs to be broken down. What are you afraid of? Let the girls in. Get a couple of women members. Please, this is ridiculous and it's got to stop. And Commissioner, I know that it would be a tough call in that situation to say, if the Masters, if Augusta does not change its policies, they will no longer be an official event on the PGA Tour. I know that that would take courage. And sadly, you didn't have it.
You know, today's swing tip is really not a tip. It's kind of my, as a golf instructor, somebody been around golf for, I hate to say it, but for 40 years, I had to finally come out and say, hey, this thing with Tiger and his golf swing, it is not that complicated. And I'm concerned with, well, just watch the golf tip. It's about Tiger today. Enjoy.
Okay, so I just had to finally have this discussion. My name is Jeff Harrison. I'm a golf professional. I've been teaching and playing golf competitively at a very high level since 1981. So I feel I'm qualified to say this. When I watch a tour player, whether it's Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy or whoever it is, or one of my students, and they're not hitting it straight and they want to hit it straight, the first thing we have to do is we have to educate them in what does it take to hit this ball straight. When I see somebody like Tiger Woods who, for all intents and purposes, he's working on his game, and yet he's not taking it to the golf course. And I have two things I want to talk about today. First of all, just understanding that to hit the ball straight, Tiger, and I say this to Tiger, I mean, if Tiger would have asked me, hey, if he would take my phone call and say, what could I do differently? What could I do to hit the ball straight and depend on, you know, that it's going to go where I want it to go? Well, the first thing I do is say, Tiger, you know, to hit straight, a couple things have to happen. First of all, you've got to have the club going down the target line perpendicular to the target line. In other words, square to the target line, and you have to have the club traveling down the target line. When that happens, physics takes over and it just puts backspin on the ball, and the ball has to go straight. Now, it has nothing to do with contact. We're just talking about the ball projecting straight away. When I see Tiger hit the ball, you know, 50 yards right and 50 yards left, he's what I call out of sequence. In other words, his body and his arms are not matched up. I think back to 2001 where Tiger was a world-dominating golfer. I mean, he beat the world. I think that year, you know, I don't remember how many he won, but he won a lot of tournaments. But he won the British Open significant with, you know, in a very difficult situations. And I just remember, in part of our teaching programs that we use for filming, there's a video of him in there. And it's so impressive that everything is in sync. His golf swing is in sync. And right now, I would say, Tiger, you know, your body is rotating so much faster than your arms are And so you get your club behind the, your arms behind the ball. Now, I know that's not a news flash. You listen to the guys on the TV and they say, well, he's stuck. What does stuck mean? It just means your arms and your body are not in sync. If you think of a swing that is an epitome of it's together, in other words, it's in sync, it's a guy like Steve Stricker. Everything is back together, through together. Prior to that was Mark O'Meara. Back together, through together. Really sound. In the middle of that is Tiger Woods. When he was swinging in 2001, together. When he was working with Butch Harmon, he had that all in sync. Now, that's the ultimate goal, I would think, Tiger, is you need to get your arms in sync with your body. Either speed up your arms or slow down your hips. One of the two, you've got to get them at some point together. Or you say, listen, when I swing like this, which is, quite frankly, it's like a drag racer. The hips just explode. Then you have to say, all right, what kind of shot does this produce? And instead of getting on the golf course and lining up for the perfectly straight shot and then doing what you currently are doing, which is your hips are so much faster than your lower body, and it causes a particular type of shot, line up for it and play it. Stop trying to be someone you're not. Now, I use the example quite often of saying, hey, I'm going to go in and get fit for a suit. And my tailor measures me and he says, Jeff, you're a 36. And I say, I'm not 36, I'm 34. But let's say he measures me and he says, you're a 36. And I say, well, you know what? I'm a 36, but I really want you to make a suit for 34. And he looks at me kind of weird and he says, well, why? It doesn't fit you. That's exactly what Tiger's doing, or any other golfer that takes a lesson, knows what they're supposed to do, but still is who they are. They're not who they want to be yet. And so they struggle. So, one swing is okay, the next swing's not, and it's up and down. You're constantly playing golf swing. And I think even Butch Harmon mentioned it, said if Tiger would just go out and play golf and quit thinking golf swing, that would be a beautiful thing. Well, Tiger gets out there and he's lining up with the expectations to hit a particular shot and a particular swing, and it's not happening. So then he's fixing that. Now, he's smarter than that. He's much smarter than that. The guy is incredible. But what I do see that's happening is Tiger gets out there, and for a period of time, and this is only a guesstimation because I don't know this. I don't know Tiger, but I'm thinking at the early part of the year when he was playing well and Bay Hill he won, this syncing of his body and his arms together was perfect. I mean, he had a very good start of the year. Then when he came back, I have this sneaky feeling that said that he thought, okay, I'm on track. Now I can go ahead and put speed to it. Guess what? He can't. He's all over the map. Missed a cut last week. Today is Friday, the second day of the Players Championship. I don't know if he'll make the cut. He's 2 over par going into the second round. You got to get it back on track, Tiger, meaning you just have to work, turn and turn. Now, what would I suggest? Here's what I suggest. Drills make changes. Tiger, I'd get in front of a mirror and I would swing until I could feel like that sink, that my hands are staying in front of my body. They're not getting stuck behind me. They're not getting ahead of me. They're staying in front of my body, and my body is rotating. That's what I would do. That's what I would tell Tiger if all of a sudden my phone rang and said, hey, this is Tiger Woods. What can I do to start winning? I would get in sync. And until you do, find out what shots you are hitting and just line up and play them. Play golf, Tiger. Fix your swing on the driving range, but play golf when you get out there, whoever you are. So when your tailor measures you and says, hey, right now, when we first did it, you were 36. Now you're a 35. You're still not a 34. Buy clothes that fit a 35 and work towards a 34. My name is Jeff Harrison. I hope you enjoyed this. This is just my take on it. I just watch this all the time, and it's just like, it starts making me pull my hair out of like, this is not rocket science. You want to hit it straight? Certain things have to happen. Physics supports that. Not somebody's idea of what he should do, but physics. Take it back down to the basic stuff. Hey, when you drop a ball, physics says gravity will pull it to the earth. Certain things happen when you want to hit the ball straight. Certain things have to happen. It's not by chance, Tiger. It's by design. Thanks for joining me. Again, I'm Jeff Harrison.
Well, it was another fun, the Golf Shop TV session. Poor Tim Finchem.
You were good.
Man.
You're tough on him.
I think now these commissioners of sport, they have to work in the shadow of Roger Goodell in the NFL, who is wielding his power in a direction that I think is going to help the game and help the fans, and we need a commissioner in the golf world that has a little backbone and a little fortitude and a little attitude. You know, this situation at Augusta has been going on for many years, and really, who knows if Augusta might change if the tour wields its power.
Yeah.
And I loved your section on Tiger. Boy, you guys were hot today.
It's just not that hard. I mean, you know, come on.
Take the club back and hit it towards the target, right, Jeff? Come on.
It's like throwing it's like throwing ball back and forth to each other. If you want it to go someplace, you got to kind of make your arm go there. So, you know.
Well, when you looked at this at the Golf Channel when they showed Tiger on the range with his coach, and then you see the coach coming up and telling him, "Your butt's not out far enough. Hang your arms down." I'm thinking this guy has 73 wins and 14 majors and no confidence at all right now.
It's a tail wagging the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, let this tail wag these dogs right out of here. Stay tuned for much, much more as the months go by with thegolfshoptv.com. Jeff Harrison, Amy Anderson, and the coach Rich Gilgallen. See you next time.